All right. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, wherever you may be in the world. It is Friday. It's Friday on a Monday because we lost our cell service out in Colorado, but we're back. So better late than never with Free Hands Friday number 85 with David Tipton, who's sharing his knowledge with us on the Fleetwood Mac classic Landslide. Today is 9/11. I can think of no better song to pay tribute to people who you may have lost or have known or even just kind of lived through. So that aside, this is part two. In our first part, we covered kind of the intro and the verse, and David talked us through those different sections. And now I'm going to kind of hand it off to you, David, and just kind of take us, maybe like reintroduce us to the key and the changes that you're doing, and we'll get all ready for the chorus.
Yeah, okay, great. So yeah, wow, I was totally oblivious. This is 9/11. Thanks for pointing that out. So last time, yeah, we covered basically what I guess I think of as the verse, which was we're going like from in the key of B flat is where I do this tune, E flat to a B flat with the D in the bass to a C minor, and so just quickly, so going into the second part of the tune, I'm going to play the part that leads right up to it. So the last time from the C minor, it goes down to an F chord. I'm doing this F.
And I played that in first inversion, so I'm playing that right here.
Ah, okay. You're doing... so I go down, yeah, from on those top three strings. And then, so I'm on a C minor here, and there's the F is right below it. And now going into the second part, I'm going to jump all the way up to the, instead of doing the low B flat here, I'm going to jump up to B flat here. And so basically this section of the song is going from B flat down a half step to again, well, I'll talk about this in a second here. So B flat to an A. It's actually what I think of is an F chord with an A in the bass.
Gotcha.
Because otherwise, if you're sticking strictly to the chords in the key of B flat, you would be doing A minor 7 flat 5 there, which probably works too, but I think thinking F with A in the bass is more practical and sounds just fine. And then down the G minor. And the G minor, so one of the things I like to do with this is, like I like to think in terms of voice leading. And so I'm using these top two strings when I'm doing the B flat. And so I've got a B flat here, but instead of some B flat and an F on the very top, so it gives you that. Or I'll change that G minor up sometimes. That's actually like it's a G minor 7 chord right there.
It feels like an open string. It feels like you're playing off an open string.
Exactly. So if I put the melody on top of that, it's that. Make sure I'm playing it right. Yeah, so I actually do jump down like this and then play those there, but so that's just the same thing we did last week. Back to the F.
That's right. It's just that first part.
And so the first time through, I go back up and I go back into that E flat B flat with the D in the bass to the C minor, and do a little solo, and just basically using the C, or I'm sorry, the B flat major scale, and you can get really creative with that. When I listen to Lindsey Buckingham's solo, his finger style, when he does that little interlude, he's got like this really intricate little thing that leads back into it, and it is just gorgeous. But I have not taken the time to try to even come close to that.
80%. Like in these sorts of situations, like it's a passing grade, like people recognize the tune, and anytime for me, my measure of success is when somebody comes up and says, "Hey, I really like that song."
Yes.
And it's not like I could be up here playing tuba and they'd be like, "I still love that tuba, like whatever, that's tuba, but like that song meant something to me." Then it's like mission accomplished. Like like you felt the feelings that came along with that song. We shared this moment,
Yes, and I'm just thinking how badly I would love to hear this song on a tuba.
On a tuba,
right.
So on that chorus, can I show you a little variation that I'm doing?
Oh, absolutely, please.
So on the 10 string, I'm kind of, what I'm doing is I'm doing this. There's that little interlude, and then I play F first inversion.
Okay.
That kind of sweet A in the bass. And then I go right up to the B flat and first inversion. That's it. Sorry. So I'm doing a B flat first inversion there, and then I'm doing another inversion of the F there. So I'm inverting them at both times.
Oh, okay.
So I'm doing.
Yeah.
So just kind of having to work with the 10 scale model. So I think this is really healthy for us, for like 10 and 12 string players to like come together and figure out like, here's other ways, because I only like I run out of strings, and hearing that open string that you're doing with that high string, and I'm like so jealous. I'm just like, I had that extra string, but it's just too wide for me, and I'm just kind of an old dog. I've had this thing for so long that I'm like, but it still can be done, and it just gives it a nice little variation.
Yeah, well, exactly, and that's and one of the things I always try to incorporate in my playing is like a kind of fluidity of. I spoke about voice leading a little bit ago here, and in this case, I'm keeping those two top notes the same. But there's also there's different ways of voicing things that just I don't like to jump if I don't have to.
It doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel natural. It's like on a guitar, they do it more elegantly.
But just and timbrely, like if that's even a word.
Pick that up. That's an easy term.
Yeah.
I love it, David Tipton. Excellent. Timbrely.
It just makes more sense. I mean, it's that's another choice you make when you're doing arranging on the stick is like, where does it sound good? And like I said, for this song, I kind of chose the upper register, almost as an experiment. But what I do when I'm playing this tune out live usually is because it's so much in the higher end and stuff like that, I usually either precede it or follow it by something that's like super bass heavy, just to give like contrast, so I mean those are kind of choices you make too, but so it's really about finding voicings that are comfortable to play, that fall under your fingers easily, and because something like this, it's like like one of the things I like to do for any tune, like I said, at B flat, that first part, practice that, and then just improvise a little on the B flat scale. Oh yeah, that holds for. You know, and just kind of free your hands up to, first off, really get the chord progression,
Yeah.
which obviously I didn't do. But.
Well, I mean, live, like we both had a glass of wine, you know, it'd be like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's Monday morning. I've been hitting
right,
exactly. Yeah, right.
So David's had like 6 gigs this weekend, like 2 each day, morning, noon, and night. So we're kind of taking it easy on you this morning. So we're at 10 minutes. And I think what might be really nice to hear is maybe you can do the intro and the verse and talk about that for a second. Then you can, maybe let's do like an intro, a verse, and a chorus. Let's maybe take it from that second verse so that you can go right into the chorus. And what we'll do is you'll just play it all the way through. And if you want to say something while you're playing, that's fine. But then,
okay.
Yeah, no. So we'll hear the whole chorus. We'll hear the transition from the verse to the chorus, and just the way you like to play it and the way you want to kind of express it to those watching.
Okay. So yeah, like we covered last time, the intro, and then I would go into a solo there on the verse. I love to do this. I get it going. And that's just a B flat triad on the top 3 strings. And then go back into the second part. Mm-hmm. And of course, when you do it the second time through, you've got to do that. What's the line? I'm getting older too. You got to do that twice.
Check your beat there.
Yeah, because people catch that. They're singing along. They catch
That's
that.
Right. Don't like mess that up, right? Like people are like the chicks are singing along. You got them going, right? Like next stop is the dance floor.
Exactly. Right.
So one thing also, there's kind of 2 kind of pre-choruses, but there's the so there's that one, and then the second time around it plays that, but it also plays the higher F. So it plays the
yeah.
That's the part you got to watch for. It does that variation in the melody.
Yes. Yeah. And you know, we really didn't talk too much about the melody here, but it is basically if you're like I said, I kind of learned this by ear, and I'm sure, you know, it's not super accurate, but it's accurate enough that people get it. And anyone, you know, playing this, it's like, you know, listen to the tune. Like if you can sing it in your head, you can figure it out. Basically,
that's the truth, David Tipton. That is, if you can sing it, you can play it. I firmly believe that.
Oh yeah, yeah. And like I said, we're doing this in B flat, so you know, basically all the melody notes are in a B flat major scale. You're gonna find them.
It's pretty safe, and it's done. It's like written by a guy with an acoustic guitar. It's capoed up, and so all those kind of folk principles. You were saying, I was equating it to jazz. You're like, I think it's more like a folk song, Gene, and you were right. And so I think like once you come back to that simplicity, kind of like Norwegian wood or something like that, where it's just kind of, it's simple enough that it's as easy to play as it is to listen to, and it's a great exercise for working out over that B flat Ionian, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Cool. You never believe it, but we're at time.
Okay.
So before we check out, I'm trying to think of like just maybe some closing notes from you, and maybe what I'll do is I'll just, as usual, thank everybody for tuning in. All 27 of you out there on the Stickus that like to watch Free Hands Friday and watch Gene and Dave pontificate about how awesome it is to play and arrange for the stick. But again, David, thank you so much for making time. I'm glad that we took our time with this one, and I'm looking forward to revisiting this and all the kind of the open tunings that you shared, and I'll kind of let you close us out here with just some thoughts about the song and when you're performing it.
Yeah, well, I think like with any tune, like if you're going to sit down and learn it, it's a good idea to listen to like different versions of it and find one that kind of speaks to you, and then, like I said, you've got choices to make, like where am I going to play it on the instrument, what feels right, and really find what works for you. It's like, just because I'm showing you a certain voicing or something like that doesn't mean you have to play it that way. It's that's part of the beauty of playing, especially this instrument. It's like a lot of guitar players spend a lot of time trying to totally recreate the original version, exactly how he plays it, but it's like, well, there is no
right. If I wanted to do that, I would have picked up a guitar and bought the tab for like $3.99. Like,
right. So
fun getting there with the Chapman stick.
Yeah, have fun getting there. So that's the message.
Got it. Great. Well, David, thanks again for another great song learn. I can't wait to do another one. I think Mad World's one that it's definitely on my list.
So I do have to point out, I don't know Mad World. I don't play Mad
World. We got to get Kevin C on here, right?
Yes.
We got to get Kevin Kasson join us. That would be a lot of fun. We'll see if we can make that happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. I believe that's his arrangement. Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, you can steal one from him. How's that?
I plan on it. Yeah. Cool.
Well, listen, thanks again, David. We'll catch you next time on Free Hands Friday.
Cool. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.